So I'd like to share with you a tool that I use for making a seating chart as well as creating groups in your classrooms. And what we'll need to do first is get your class roster. So when we're in Haiku, go to your classes and then find the section that you want the roster from and click on Manage Class. Look for Roster. When your class comes up, go to Manage Roster and we want to look for Export Students. So you'll notice here that something's going to download. What is that file that just downloaded? The file that just downloaded is a CSV file. And if you double click on that and open it, it'll open up a spreadsheet. So in that spreadsheet, you'll see your first names of your students, middle names, possibly last names, and a whole bunch of other information that we really don't need. We don't need their middle names, so we can delete that column. And I'm going to go ahead and select all my students' first and last names and just have it ready to go because I'm going to copy those for something I'm going to do in a little bit. So now I'm going to go to my tool. I'm going to go find my tool. And that tool is called Instant Classroom. And then as you start typing in Google, look for Instant Classroom Seating Chart. When that pops up, it'll take you to the website. Let's sign up. This is a free tool, so we'll hit sign up, and then group name is pretty much going to be your username. It's so weird, but that's just how they label it here. So your group name, think of a username that you want. And then your email address, use your school email address here. That works best. So once you sign up, you're going to log in and so forth. Let's see what that looks like on my end. So I'm inside my Instant Classroom here. I already have a class. I want to create a new class list from my roster that I have waiting for me. So I'm going to go to Create, Import, New Group. And I'm going to do a bulk upload. Instead of typing in every student's name, I'm going to do a bulk upload. So I'm going to click on that, and I want to enter up to 100 names separated by commas. Okay, so let's go back to the spreadsheet. I'm here at my spreadsheet, and I want to copy the names that I've selected. So now that all these first and last names are copied, I'm going to go over to my Instant Classroom, and I'm going to paste all the names in there. So let's see, they're in alphabetical order: 1 arrow, 2 books, 3 cars, and so forth. So 2 things here. The most tedious part of this will be entering commas at the end of last names. And that's fine, it's totally worth it. The other thing you'll notice as I'm doing this is some of the names have these big giant gaps in between the first and last names. Don't worry about them. I'll say that one more time. Don't worry about it. Like 8 hearts here though, that definitely needs a space between first and last name. So look for little things like that. Don't worry about the big gaps. So go ahead and import all your names once you add the commas. And you'll notice here those gaps came over and transferred over, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about them. Let's call this Tigers. This is my Tigers group. All right. And I've got 10 names. They look good to go. Again, don't worry about the big giant gaps. It doesn't really matter. So let's create our class list. It tells me it's done. Tigers should be waiting for me. So there they are. There's my second class list. So this is the money right here of this tool. You have a possibility of creating groups. You also have a seating chart. You can do a random name generator too, like an equity kind of thing. But here, let's go with Group Maker and see what that tool looks like. I like this one because you can create groups and say how many you want in each group. So for example, I want groups of 3. 3 students per group, and this is a random group generator. Scroll down a little bit and look at that. You'll notice one kid is all by himself, so you can distribute to other groups. You can say that one person by themselves will now join one of the other groups, which is cool. Or you could do the other, you're like, oh, I just need 10 groups kind of thing, or I need 8 groups. That's what this other yellow feature is over here. All right, so I love that feature. You just toss the group generator up on the board, and you just say, okay, go meet up with the people in your group. So if you want pairs, cool. And you just toss it up, and kids go find each other and get working. It's a fantastic tool. And then if you need seating charts, let's go over here, click on the desk. And once this loads, you'll notice that you'll have big squares with the kids' names in them. And one more time, you'll see that the gaps when we imported our student list didn't matter. So here we go. There's lots of features up here. We could shuffle the names, which is fun, just in case. You just want to keep it spicy. Great. you'll notice there's this yellow Save Changes. You want to click on that to make sure that any changes you make save. You can also change the desk size so that this looks better on your screen and is easier to manage. So we can do tiny desks, and you'll notice all of the squares have shrunk to rectangles. You can add empty desks here too, which is cool in case you have spacers in your classroom. So go ahead and click and drag these around where you want to seat your kids and in your classroom, and then make sure you save your changes. And if you want to print this out, you have that option as well. Hope this tool is useful. Thanks.